So do you need an easier way to build online software and custom websites? Today I'm going to show you SetupCase. This is an open source platform that we've developed here at Undo Logic, and this will enable you to create customized solutions on your own with powerful Docker containers. Now, because we have our streamlined solution, you won't get lost along the way. Let's go. Okay, I promise it's going to be simple. 3 steps. Number 1, how to download everything. Number 2, how to get it all started. Number 3, how to integrate a beautiful layout so this won't look like some weird programming thing. This will look like a finalized project. First step, go to www.setupcase.com. Click on code at the top. This goes to our GitHub page. From here, we have instructions either to do V4 or V2. Just choose V4. That's the newest one. V2 is based on the CakePHP 2 code base. V4, it's all here. What you need is you need Windows 10 Pro with virtualization activated, or you need Mac OS. SVN installed. The easiest way to get SVN installed on Windows is to use Chocolatey. So just head on over to Chocolatey. And then we're going to use PowerShell or Terminal on Mac to get it all started. I'm just going to use PHP Storm. I'm just going to make a brand new project, test, setup project. I'm going to push create. It now opens up a very fresh project. It's all empty. I'm now going to start using the terminal to run my commands. So right away, my terminal is set up to the same places here, and we're now just going to literally copy and paste these commands. This is basic, just to explain to you what it's doing. It's just exporting all of the files from my GitHub page to your computer. So paste, paste, enter, and all of the files from my GitHub page are now on your computer. You can see here. You have Docker. This is the Dockerized technology. Launch, this will access later. This gets your things uploaded onto servers and onto live sites. And then the libraries is what we use to import onto our framework. This is our personal SetupCase libraries that give you advanced functionality. Okay, we did that. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to start up Docker because already we have the files. Now let's start Docker. So you can see here in terminal, we're just going to cd docker and then .1 start Docker. cd docker and now .1 start or restart, doesn't matter. If you already have it running, you would use restart. If you don't have it running, you would use start. Now we just wait for the commands to run. Okay, now we're going to navigate to, as you can see here, after we did this, it's right away go to localhost. So just go to your browser, make a new window, just type localhost, and you can see we're up and running already. It's, PHP version 7.2. This is already running in your browser, but we don't have any project files yet. So the next step is to install the CakePHP framework. So we're going to go into our Docker container. Right now, we're not inside of it. We're just on the outside of it. To go in is just /2, and that logs into the Docker container. So now we are within the Linux container. We're inside the Linux container. Now I have mapped out automatically, all this is set up for you in Docker control. All these files are mapped out to the root of when you log into the container. So we already have the whole install composer because we're going to use composer to install CakePHP. So you literally have to just copy this. We're already inside our Docker container. I'm going to paste and then run the install composer file. So now we just wait. I have one script, dynamic library missing, but it doesn't affect anything. So you can ignore these PHP MySQL DLLs. Okay, it's done. So what did that do? So if we come back up here, we'll see what it did is in our Docker control, that's where we logged in, there's now composer.far. We can just leave that where it is. Okay, next we're just going to copy the CakePHP create command. We can just copy this Just going to copy them one by one so I can show you them one by one. So I'm just going to paste it here. And now it automatically is downloading CakePHP 4 to our local computer. It's just asking if you want to set the folder permissions. I do. I'm going to push Y, enter. Now it's done. So what did this do? This downloaded all of the files from CakePHP. And if we go back into our project, you can see that there's now a new folder called source. This is the CakePHP folder. And we chose that here. You can see var www host. Don't worry about that exactly, but what this chose to install it in source. I just want to clean up the git attributes and git ignore because I have chosen to manage that independent of how CakePHP does it. Okay, so now it's up and running. So we can go back to our local host. You can see now there's a source folder. You can click on source and drum roll, CakePHP is installed. It was that easy. We literally downloaded it, ran Composer, ran a command, and CakePHP is entire running on our local host. But we're not done there. So now let's start some integration. So what's great about what we have is we have a way to integrate libraries that we've developed, our open source libraries, on top of CakePHP. So that's what this is doing, is just rsyncing the libraries folder. So let me just copy that. So you can see in the, this is all the libraries here, they're already here. So we just want to copy that on top of CakePHP. So I'm going to come down here and just push enter. Good, so it's done. So for example, now if you go to source, webroot, there's modules, and over time we're going to add more modules here. For example, this is one of our open source libraries, how to render a PDF, to create labels or to create exports right from your project. What this also did is it creates a templates layout. We've created a new layout, which is the bare minimum to get running our template, because that moves on to step 3. We don't want our project to look all boring like this. Like, obviously, we want a beautiful layout. If you go here to this link, startbootstrap.com, no affiliation, but I love this website. You can download different layouts. We're going to choose an admin layout here. This is very cool. This is all these little bells and whistles. So I've already downloaded it here to my computer. You then just extract it, extract all. So the files are now extracted. It's very easy. Just drag and drop the extracted files from your downloads to modules. So now it's there. I just want to change the name so it's easier to reference. So now it's layout, a lot easier than that long link. These are all the files. So let's just see what that did. So if we go back to our local host, source, but now we're just going to go to modules/layout. We have to then choose the HTML file, index.html. This is it. It's working all within our computer, but we want to bring this into CakePHP so we can turn this into a software. We don't want to just use this as a standalone system. So this is very easy. Just come back into index.php, copy all the files. Copy all of the code. Go back into our CakePHP layout new. Leave these 2 lines at the top. We'll come back to that later. We're just going to paste it. And now we need to create a brand new page to use this new layout. We're going to keep the default as it is. Just to make things simpler, let's create a brand new layout and reference it. So we're going to go to our pages directory. From our quick start guide, you can see that we can just copy this new page and paste it into here. And now, because we're using something called router.url, we will also need to reference that outside of the class. So just put, because we're using this router.url, just make sure that cake routing router is there. So what did that do? Now we have a new page. So let's go to source, pages, new page. We're missing the view. That's okay, because obviously we haven't created a view yet. Come back here, pages, make a new view called new page.php. Now we refresh, and now we have our layout, but it looks terrible because obviously we haven't referenced the scripts to the correct location. The reason for this is in new, you can see all of our scripts are going to just JS. We need to just add in a variable, which that's what we have here called base layout. So what we're going to do is simply find and replace everything that's source this to source base layout, replace all. Here, href we want, href. So we want to replace all of the hrefs with our base layout, done. Let's just see if there's any other scripts. Don't think so. So now that we have our single variable, we can now go and refresh the same page we were on. And there it is. It's now integrated locally. Okay, so we're almost there. So we have a single page, looks good, looks beautiful. Just a little programming could make this all come alive. What we're going to do now is create a basic navigation just to jump between pages and have our layout have shared components, and a portion of it will change as you change pages. So to do this, what do we need to do? We need to go inspect. We need to figure out where in this code is the portion that's going to be changing and where it will not change. So for example, here's the top nav bar. So in the code, here's your sidebar. We're leaving that as it is. So obviously we need that to be the same on every page. The top as well, the nav bar as well, we want that to be the same because we don't want to have that to appear on every page. But this part here, container fluid, this part we're actually going to have it change for every page. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm now going to go back to our new layout, and I'm going to look for that part. Here it is, container fluid. So this part actually we're going to put on our page because this is actually going to change. So I'm just going to cut that, make a big space so I don't forget where I cut it. Going to new page, I'm pasting. Going back to my layout, at the very top, these two rows, that's what they were there for. I'm going to cut these. I'm going to come down and just paste these two files. So now when we go back and we refresh, nothing should change because what had happened now is we have taken a portion of the layout and brought it to a sub page. That works. Now we're going to set up a basic navigation. So on our new layout, as you can see the word dashboard here, I'm just going to change dashboard to be, whoops, I'm just going to change this to be page 1. So this is going to be our new page. And this is going to be our second page. Okay, so you can go back to our quick start guide here and you can see that we have the explanation of how to build the links. Now before this starts, you have to remove the default routing because there's a weird issue with capitals that they don't fix here. So anyway, so just make sure that this file is commented in your routes. So simply go to source, config, routes, and just comment out this. That's just the basic thing that comes with pages. We don't need that. If you've created a separate controller, you won't need to do this. This is only for the default controller. So we go back. So now that that's gone, we go back to our instructions. We are now going to create a second page. So let's copy this. We're going to go to our pages controller. We now have a second page. Go back to our explanation, and here is how to build the link, which will jump between pages. I'm copying this. I'm now going to our new layout, and I'm removing the original href, and I'm going to be putting in our build function. So in this case, we're going to pages, new page. The second, we're going to second page. Let's go and refresh. Oh, we don't have the page yet. So now let's go back to our original layout. Remember, that's under localhost, source, modules, layout, index.html. And you know what? For our second page, let's use tables. You see, so I'm just going to go inspect. Same thing. You see container fluid. You can see I want this whole blob of text. Just copy that. We'll go back to our page. We've now created a new second page, but now we need our view under pages. So we're going to be creating second page. So just paste in. This is all built with a nice table layout. And now we can test. Now we have 2 pages to jump between. So let's refresh our page, our new page. And now on the left side, you'll see we have new page and second page. This has the initial one we had. Now I'm going to click on second page. And there it is. We now have a nice table within the layout. So you can see we're sharing the layout now. All of this is the same. So if you want to make a change to the layout, you use new.php. This is the layout. But then each page you can make separate pages. So this is how you build your navigation. You build up the entire site with different pages. You copy and paste in different styles. Always copy and paste styles that exist. Don't create new. Always copy stuff from your layouts. And remember, these layouts that we bought, the Start Bootstrap, we use the free one, but if you use the paid one, like Upgrade to Pro, they include many more pages, and that's where it gets really nice, because then you have your pages set up and you can literally just piece together your sites by copying and pasting these blobs of code. So the money they do charge is really worth the time that you're going to save. Okay, there it is. That's the quick start guide. We did 3 things. We downloaded all the files. We used our open source framework SetupCase to integrate a layout within CakePHP 4. And then we created a basic navigation just to get you started. The next steps are finish off the visuals, get a client to love the visuals, then proceed to programming. And we have a whole bunch of other videos coming for that as well. Check back more for new updates on SetupCase.com. Thanks.